Hello and welcome to the Side Character Podcast. I'm Pettry and I'm here with
Casper.
aka this is the slightly less planned and very much more intoxicated version of our podcast where we just discuss pretty much random bullshit.
Yes, and usually this is also the part of the podcast where your cat joins us, but he's been with us all along this time.
And I bet he doesn't make a peep now.
Such a diligent fellow.
Yeah, as I said, he probably isn't going to make a peep now. Just... that would be too easy.
But yes, the alcohol of choice for today, in my case, is very gay Baileys.
Yes, it's actually called Forest Walk, or Forest Stroll, if you literally translate it.
Oh, and your alcohol of choice is the medicine cocktail.
My medicine of choice alcohol is no alcohol because, well, my alcohol and medication don't mix and I'm feeling that. So I've made the extremely smart decision to not intoxicate myself further, to spare myself utter grief.
It should be noted that when you had your surgery last week, I visited and I was like, hey, congratulations on the heart surgery. Have some fucking alcohol with me.
Yes. Yeah, we also didn't mention that. I had heart surgery.
Yeah.
I've also been busy with that.
Yes. I do like and agree with how you described this to me. It smells like the like pudding tastes.
Yeah, it smells like the sauce they put on top of the Mona pudding here.
Yeah. Well, let's have a taste.
I think it's pretty tasty, but the taste is a bit too strong for my taste.
Yeah, that's very creamy.
Yeah.
Very much like a Baileys.
I like that part. It's just, as I said,
very much something for you, because it's not too strongly sweet.
Yeah, it's up there. I can tolerate it, but it's a bit too strong in the sweetness.
Yeah.
I like fruity and fresh things, pretty much, so that's why I fucking adore cider. Fuck me, I suppose, because that's literally unfindable in this goddamn country.
Yeah. And I promised you that I would be getting some whenever I order jerky again, because whenever I order meat again, but that hasn't happened yet.
No, and another friend also promised me exactly the same thing, because he said I should try Brothers too.
Yeah, Brothers is really good.
And he...
I believe that's Australian.
I wouldn't know. But I have tried Brothers yesterday, because the local, alcohol shop, what do you call it?
Liquor store.
Liquor store. The local liquor store had some there. It was not the best Brothers taste, because it was just multi-fruit, so it's like blackberry. But I still like that very much. And before someone says it, no, Apple Bandit is trash. It upsets my stomach very much. I can't handle Apple Bandit.
Yeah, you have a sensitive tummy.
Yeah, and with sensitive we mean disease-riddled.
But we're not here to talk about alcohol.
No.
Well, not primarily in any case. We were actually here to talk about our origin story. This is...
very main protagonist.
Main protagonist podcast, the prequel.
Oh, Christ.
God, how long have we known each other now?
Too long?
Yes, that's very helpful.
Yeah, let's see.
I think almost 10 years.
Close to it.
Yes, because it's been 7 years since we graduated. And I knew you for the last 2 years of our education.
Education being within giant air quotes.
Yes.
Okay, so just to explain Dutch, the Dutch school system. You have primary school, you go to there until you're either about 11 to 13. It depends on how they deem you to join the horrors of middle school. And middle school is usually between those ages up till 16 through 18, depending on the level of education they send you. In that regard, Netherlands is a bit weirder because we don't mix our middle school together. We just have separate levels of education in that. And the highest level being 7 years long. And the lowest level being 4 years.
I did not have the patience for that.
Yeah, you just you went TL, right?
Yeah, the middle of the road.
Nah, that's upper middle, but yeah.
Yeah, I originally started with a recommendation for half of AVO.
Yes. So that's like what's the equivalent to that?
That's
bachelor university.
Yeah,
for follow-up education.
But as Pettry is keen to remind me, I fucking loathe learning. I do not have the patience to listen to teachers and sit around and take notes. I do not have the fucking patience for that. I'm a practical learner.
Also, future notice, luckily he went to MBO then, to our school.
Yes, you joked about that in relation to cinemas, that I fucking hated when you go to the cinema to do a speech. You said, yes, evidently you didn't go to university. No, I fucking didn't!
To be clear, I started at gymnasium, which is
the highest, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's the highest level the Dutch education system offers.
That's where all the wankers go that get Greek and Latin.
Yeah, I had Greek and Latin, Old Greek even, and Celtic. I even learned Celtic on that fucking school for a solid 6 months. Because they fucking hated me. I am apparently a menace to any teacher that has the displeasure of trying to teach me. Because often I just run ahead of the entire class and they deem that to be a disruption of order.
Let's be honest, you're a menace in general.
Yeah, fair. And thusly I have been demoted again and again until I was at what we call EVO, also better known as the hopeless bastard level of education.
Yeah.
From which I got the recommendation to do MBO level 2, which is the lowest follow-up education you can get, and everyone still hated me there. Until I got to level 4, where I met this glorious bastard.
Yes, because you really worked your way up.
Oh yeah, no, well, worked my way up. Tolerated my way up.
Yeah.
I think that's the better description. So I started high, fucking plummeted, jumped off a cliff equivalent. I did the academical equivalence of jumping and face planting off a cliff. And then just crawled my back up again.
And it was considered a massive failure on my part when I didn't make it when I didn't cut it on my level. And instead of graduating to the highest option I received in my recommendation, down demoted to one below it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, your family is kind of weird in that regard. As in, well, more like your stepfamily, I should be precise. They have this weird obsession with deeming themselves better than they are, or at least giving it more importance than it's worth.
It's a very proud family.
Yeah, but not in a good sense, I think, at least.
But yes, we ended up meeting in the 3rd year, which is kind of magical because I specifically refused an option to fast track, which would have meant I would skip year 3.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that because I wasn't very confident in my IT skills. I was a good organizer, good with documentation.
I mean, let's be honest, at that level, literally putting more than 3 words to paper was considered good.
Yeah, because MBO 4 is, to put it as kindly as I can, filled with fucking retards.
It's literally the people that don't know what they wanted to do with their lives, they go to IT MBO level 2 through 4.
Yeah.
And
that was actually, before we met, that was kind of a fucking nightmare case for me.
Yeah.
Because when I was in middle school, I got into a big fight with a dude that you know, Michel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popping veins.
Yes. And he was, during one class, he just at one point grabbed me by the throat, threw me off my chair, and then I almost smashed the chair on his head. Before I got very much stopped.
Unfortunately, he didn't get the chance.
And on the first day of my IT course, all my nerdy friends were there, because all my nerdy friends went and did IT as well. And fucking Michel walked in with more of his friends as well. Like, oh, fuck, no.
Not this shit again.
But that ended up being not a problem at all, actually. No. He was just a very chill dude.
Yeah, eventually he was pretty chill.
Yeah.
He even learned some self-restraint.
Yeah, almost getting your ass smashed in with a chair probably puts
Some
some
perspective.
perspective.
Yeah, no, most of the people there kind of kept to themselves, luckily, because it was absolutely fucking dreadful if it were the middle school experience again.
Yeah. Yes, would you say that that's actually some youthful perspective? Like, you're still young, but you're realizing, oh god, I actually gotta cut it now. I actually gotta make something of myself.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's that, because I just think it's hormones calming down, because let's be honest, nobody actually did shit there. Literally, okay, you got this project, you have 8 weeks, and literally, no matter who it was, the last 3 days were the only 3 days that things actually happened.
Yeah.
Everything before that, it was either fucking around and playing games, or, well, just playing games. You did nothing there. And it was just pretty much relaxing until you needed specific stuff done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very hands-off kind of school in that regard. It's exactly as you say, just here is your project, fix it in 8 weeks.
And we might actually grade it.
Yes. And we're gonna... Well, they did run you through things. They showed you how to do documentation and how to do the tech stuff you needed for the project. But there was not enough actual material to teach for the 8 weeks that each project would take.
No, definitely not.
8 weeks for setting up a fucking Windows 2008 server.
Yeah.
Which had to basically run a few accounts, a file storage with home directories.
It was super easy. The biggest problem we had, teaching-wise, is that our programming teacher, God bless him, he was one of the only teachers that actually put in effort. We got a shit programming language.
Yeah, oh god.
We were taught PHP as the first programming language to develop in, which is absolutely horrid. You might want to start with some Java or JavaScript, perhaps some Python. But we got fucking server-side maintenance language for websites, which is not even meant to design websites in, but we had to make them.
Yeah.
Which is very obtuse and stupid.
Yeah,
which also, you will never use in practical applications. There is no IT management specialist that will use PHP on the back end. That's web design stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
And guess what? There's a separate course for web design, which we didn't get.
Yeah.
So what was the fucking point of all this?
Well, our teachers had this little knack for, we want to teach this, but if it doesn't work on our end or we don't understand it anymore, we just drop the entire class.
Yeah.
Because we had databases at one point, and they were trying to explain to us how databases work. And by the third lesson, the database of our teacher corrupted, and he was just like, lol, go home, this class is over. You always have this hour off now. And we were just like, what the fuck? Okay, sure.
Yeah. As you might grasp from this, actual teaching morale, not too high. Actual teaching competence, wavering.
Depends on the teacher.
Yeah.
We had a few that were really good at their job, and that actually cared, but most of them just...
Yeah, but even for those, the actual material that they got to work with wasn't too splendid. Like, we had Linux at one point. We were going to get Linux classes, and it just never got a good intro.
No.
It was just a list of commands and what they do, and no practical instructions on what you should do with them.
Nope. Here has CentOS. Go fuck around with that. More of that stuff. But getting back on track, how we met.
Yeah.
And I don't even fully remember it anymore.
Oh, I do, actually. Because I was seated near some of your friends, and I chatted with Rolf a bit because we had some similar hobbies.
Yeah.
And we were both friends with Daniel.
I have to think there.
Dan.
Yeah, just Dan.
His full name is Daniel.
Yeah, I'll just use Dan.
Yeah, but fine, I don't care.
That doesn't translate well. I don't care. It's his name.
And Daniel is a special person.
And how?
In the first year, he'd been with me in the same class since we started IT. And the one thing I resoundingly remember of him is that we had a group chat. Somebody was trying to sell off some old retro games. and I was bidding on it. The guy accepted, and then Daniel intervened, said that I was offering too low, and he cost me an extra $20. So that kind of person.
Oh, and just my experience with him, I want to add as well, because that was a vibe. I upgraded my graphics card at some point, and he was moaning and bitching about how he wanted to play games and couldn't afford a graphics card. So I was like, fine, whatever. I'm a good friend. You can have my old graphics card. I don't care about the money that much. So I gave him the graphics card, and then other Danny, which is still a friend of mine, gave me a Marktplaatslink, or local equivalents of what's called
eBay.
I was thinking of a different one, but doesn't matter. Craigslist. I was thinking of Craigslist. And that's just a link to my graphics card, which Daniel has been trying to pawn off. So I just gave him a graphics card, which he desperately needed to game to sell off. So yeah, that kind of made me angry.
Yeah, so he was very much that guy.
Yeah.
But he did bring us together, because I didn't pay attention to you in the slightest at first.
And good.
And you didn't pay attention to me, and we had kind of a separate cliques there.
Yeah.
And then Daniel came, introduced you to me. He's like, hey, Casper, this guy likes retro games. And you just looked at me with the hungriest look ever and said, you want to see my Commodores?
I have Commodores. Want to see my Micro?
And I was like, I want to see your Commodores. And then you took me to your shed and showed me your Commodores.
Oh, yes, I did.
If this sounds menacing, it actually is. Because the first time you...
Also, I distinctly remember looking at you and I'm like, your name's Casper. You were instantly, don't you fucking dare say it. I'm not Casper the Ghost. Well, then you're Princess. And he just rolled with it ever since.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I'll just call you Princess. And I thought, I can bother him with this. But he just accepted and rolled with it. And I'm like, we can be friends. You are not bothered by this. And I'm okay with that.
But yeah, the first time, I believe I said it on the podcast before, but the first time you invited me over, I actually thought you were coming on to me. Because...
no, I'm just a very easy and open person.
Yes. But yeah. There were actual Commodores in the shed, I can assure you.
And more.
Yes.
Amigas and
you like
a lot of books and stuff.
I also remember that one of our friends broke her fucking wrist when we went there. Because you were showing me, oh, look, if you press the shift here, there's a clicky. Click, click, click.
Ah, yes.
And then you had this giant, sack for boxing. What's it called again? Punching bag.
Yeah, just a boxing bag, sandbag.
He just
bag.
He just punched it straight up.
Yeah. And collapsed his fucking wrist. I want to remind you, I have 3 black belts, so I'm very used to punching things and grappling things.
Yeah.
Every time someone punches a bag, I'm like, you shouldn't. You should punch straight on, and they never listen.
Even I could have told them that, but alas.
Yeah.
Because I punched and kicked your punching bag as well a few times, and... oh, look at me! Full wrist control!
Yeah, it's almost like if you slightly incline your wrist downwards, it's like the force is going through your arm instead of collapsing in on itself. It's a very novel concept.
Yes.
But yeah, just to kind of state how I got into possession of 3 dozen Commodores. I had this internship in middle school, and it was this dude, local computer repair shop. But I wouldn't say he was a hoarder, but if you offered him something, he was just like, yeah, sure, I'll put it in the back. I can use it for something. But by this time, he finally moved out and got an actual working shop area, and I helped him with that. And he was like, I have an awful lot of Commodores and such that I kind of don't want anymore. Do you care if I drop them off at your place and you can mess with them? Because I know you like retro computers. And I'm like, sure. And I expected, full on expected, 2 Commodores, some floppies and such. I can, like Casper can tell you, that was not the case. This motherfucker showed up with a Ford Galaxy, so a full-on 7 people carrying van, 3 times, filled to the fucking brim with Commodore and everything related to Commodores, and just dumped it on our porch and was like, good luck with it. Yeah, at this point, my father had just, or died a while ago, so we had the shed where he worked out of. I don't even think shed is the right word. It's kind of more than that. This building.
It was a big thing.
Yeah, and so I was like, yo, Mom, can I just fucking drop this in there? Because you're not using it. It's my space. A lot of grumping, but eventually I got it in there. And it kind of sat there, tested it from now and then, messed with it. So every time someone was like, I like Commodores. Oh, I have the shed for you, buddy.
Get in my shed.
Get in my shed and appreciate the stuff.
Click the shift button. Click it.
Click it. Yeah, I like that. Not to harp on too long. I like the shift button on the Commodore because it's cap lock without being caps lock. It's just a button that has two states, and instead, if you press it, the switch hangs there. So it's like a hanging caps lock.
Yeah.
So you don't need the caps lock button. Wow. Novel. Very convenient back then.
Very convenient.
But yeah.
I did appreciate, actually, that we met that way. The one saving grace for old Daniel.
Yeah.
Because all the friends I came to that school with all accepted the offer for the fast track. Because they also were kind of competent. It's almost as if you see a difference between people that picked up IT because of a passion for computers and people that picked up IT because they didn't meet the requirements for literally anything else in life.
Yeah. What do I have passion about? I guess lounging around and playing games, but that's not a school I can go to, so I'll go to IT.
Closest approximation.
Yes.
But yeah, they all took the offer for the fast track. So since that year, third year, they were in a different class. And being in a different class, the break schedules didn't line up anymore. Didn't really have many people to interact with in class anymore. So you kind of roped me into hanging out with you and Danny, and Daniel, and Rolf.
Bram.
And
then we played games and watched anime and
did
stuff.
Yeah, that's also the part where it just became more interesting, where I personally became even more passionate about anime, because before that I was just kind of the anime weirdo of the group. I was the only one that watched anime. Very begrudgingly got some of them to check out Sword Art Online when that was still new. But yeah, they didn't have any passion for anime, and suddenly we were doing anime quizzes in the
in the break room.
Yeah, in the cafeteria.
Yeah, that was fun.
In the most fucking horrendous cafeteria ever. Not specifically because of the food, but because the outlet pipe for the grease, the frying pan, just exited right under the window for our class.
Also, because the people that worked there were not contracted by the school. These were just people that showed up to do the thing. So most of us, I don't know if you did this, because I certainly did. I just went up to them and was like, hey, can I have broodje Mexicano, as we so lovingly called it, which is just, well, meat on a piece of bread.
Yeah, it's like a loaf of meat.
Yeah, they were like, well, that will be €2. Oh, no. Put it on his tab. And they were just like, yeah, I'm not paid enough to carry even in the slightest bit. It's not our money. We're not making more if we're not making money off of you. So I just always put it on someone's tab. Tom, I don't know. Rolf, I don't know, just some name. And they were just always like, yeah, I'll roll with it. I don't care. They didn't even write it down half the time. And sometimes by the end of the year, they were like, okay, we have like €25 that we need from Tom. Where's Tom? Nobody reacts. I guess not. They didn't pursue it at all.
Financial market collapse of 2014.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm quite easy to hang out with. So I was instantly like, so you like anime? Let me bombard you with very random anime knowledge.
Yeah, that's when you forced me to watch Serial Experiments Lane. But I also think we kind of immediately clicked together because we emphasize each other's geekiness in that way. Because you weren't, you collected a lot of games, and I collected games, but both of us were just kind of semi-collecting anime. And once we got together, our collecting just intensified. Because in like the first year of us being friends, I know you ordered Full Metal Panic, Serial Experiments Lane,
Soul Eater.
Soul Eater, which I stole from you.
Fuck yeah.
Final Fantasy Unlimited you Shuffle.
Oh yeah. Strike Witches.
Strike Witches, yes.
High School of the Dead.
High School of the Dead.
It was fucking cheap, okay? It was €18 for the Blu-ray.
How can you resist?
Yeah, there's titties and the OVA.
Yeah, and oh dear, my collection expanded in as well.
Yeah, it kept exponentially growing. Mine has stagnated a lot. Because, well, at this point I actually put value on what I actually want to collect and not want to randomly collect anything. So that's why I just have a shitload of PS2, which you can't see, but that's my primary collecting thing.
And you will never see.
Well, they might see sometime.
But how did you in general experience IT school, besides the friendships that bore from it?
Well, as I said, it was more of a social experience than a learning experience because you learn very, very little. At school, at least, we had internships. The internships were probably the best part about that school.
Yeah.
But not because of the school, just because you got half a year of actual work experience with people that actually worked.
Yeah.
Instead of, and had expectations of you. Because poor Nicky, by the way, he actually went to a Linux company, a very well-regarded Linux company in the Netherlands. Well, actually, I should say Unix, not Linux, but same difference for now. And they actually expected Nicky to learn a lot. And, well, he was one of those people that did not sit there, was on school because he had passion for IT. He just took the first internship he could get because there was time pressure for us.
Yeah.
They didn't provide anything. We had to look for that, for those internships.
Yeah, they didn't have a catalog of internships that you could do. It was really just...
Find one before the deadline, else you're fucked.
Yeah, figure it out, jackass.
Pretty much. But they actually expected him to know stuff about Unix. And so he's one of the only ones from our school that actually failed his internship, which was very rough for him. But yeah, I got at some companies, very weird ones that weren't good. I have some positive experience with my second and third internships. My first internship was an absolute shit show though. But yeah, at school itself, everything was project-based. You had some lessons, but as we already said, they fell through very quickly. Because either they didn't know what they were talking about or what they were talking about broke.
Yeah.
And all the teachers were literally grabbed together. Our Dutch teacher, which ironically we still had to learn on MBO at the follow-up education. You usually don't get language courses anymore, but whatever. We got Dutch and English. Our Dutch teacher was just a university student. Dude liked me though. Asshat. Fucker started writing the first lesson. He started writing on the whiteboard. I'm just like, you're forgetting a semicolon there. Looked around. Who said that? Me did. Okay, you obviously don't need any more Dutch lessons. You're free. Okay, well that was easy. Never had to do Dutch on that school again. I just have to do the exams. So that was quite easy. Our English teacher was actually a good teacher. She was actually a polyglot.
Huh.
As in, she spoke like 6 languages, I wanted to say.
Oh, cool.
She spoke Dutch, German, English, Thai, Bhutan, I believe. Yeah, she was from Southeast Asia. So, yeah, she got all that in. She was pretty impressive, actually. She did not belong to that school at all. Actual talent.
Too far above level.
Yeah. So, and then we had the dreaded Friese en Woutersen. Those were the bane of our existence. They were literally there because they had to be, and they obviously had no other career path.
Yeah, Butts actually got kicked out of my internship.
Sorry?
He got kicked out of my internship location.
Mine too!
Yeah!
Hell yeah!
Yeah, because my first internship was at a... can I legally say this? Oh, I'm not going to name them. It was at a fraudulent computer shop. Just network share with your cracked version of Windows, your cracked version of Office, and just build computers and servers all day long and troubleshoot brand knockoff appliances like e-readers.
Yeah.
He showed up to their office and to kind of check in on me, and I got fucking infuriated with his demeanor because he's a very
do not care attitude.
Yeah, somewhat slovenly, but
yeah,
a little too laid back if you're a very formal office. More formal than your line of business deserves, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but just his general demeanor and his do not care attitude.
Yeah.
Often spikes people.
And he got shouted at a lot, told to remove himself from the premises, which ended up being beneficial to me because I used that as leverage to get myself extracted from that internship after they vandalized my bicycle.
Nice. My first internship did that too.
Oh.
Fucking Christ.
Fucking parallels here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just nothing to do there most of the day because there was one time of the day when they would deliver servers and computers to build. So there was one batch of stuff. And sometimes they just didn't bring that out until like 4 p.m.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So there's literally nothing to do and no other businesses to do anything in. So you don't have anything on hands.
No.
And they held that against me a lot, so they were constantly bitching that I didn't do any work. Well, there was no work.
Yeah, exactly.
And eventually, they got a little salty about that because I just snap back whenever people snap at me. That doesn't work.
No.
And they cut open my bicycle, the seat.
Yeah. Well, for me, since we're just talking parallels at this point, my first internship was at credit analyst company, which primarily did database stuff.
Okay.
They refused to teach me anything regarding databases. They did not let me do any server management or user management. They just set me at the desk, gave me a book, do it. Okay, but I can't. I have no practical application for these skills. I don't have a laptop to apply these skills to. So it's just all theoretical knowledge that I'm just trying to get in there. Which wasn't at that point very interesting at all. I couldn't use Google. They forbidden me for actually using Google. So the autistic little bastard I was just literally sitting 8 hours a day straight watching to my cubicle. Pettry, why aren't you doing anything? There's nothing to do. You won't let me do things. I can't use the computer which I'm assigned to. And you just gave me a book to read from which I can't apply the knowledge from. So I can't practice. Yeah, that sounds like a you problem. Well, fuck you. Then I'm just going to sit here for 8 hours for a half a year straight. And you can go suck at a giant cock. And then we had this dude, which apparently didn't like my demeanor.
I can't imagine why.
I mean, I want to say here that he chronically came too late.
Mm-hmm.
Was never on time.
Oh,
they never fired him because he had an actual crucial role, which they obviously could teach to someone, but they didn't want to teach anyone anything, obviously, because they wouldn't let me do shit. So he was angry at me because I listened exactly to what they wanted me to do. And then he molested the fucking chain off my very expensive bicycle at that point. And when I made a point out that with HR, they were just like, nah, he's just playing. He just cost me more than $300 to fix my bike. You're going to reimburse me. And after a lot of back and forth, they finally conceded, like, well, maybe. No, not maybe. You're giving me $300 to fix my fucking bike. Else I will just go up and leave. They eventually I got my money. But the threat was a little bit hollow because if I left, there's literally nothing changed. They just gave me money to sit there and teach myself nothing. But yeah, my first internship was utter shit.
Yeah.
Second one was better.
Second one for me was that was to just be a skilled service desk / system administrator. It was a very all-encompassing IT role for a smaller company.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. That gets you a lot of practical experience in a lot of fields. And my third was being a project lead for the IT of a library.
Yeah.
So
To revise the inventory system, right? Or inventarization.
I did a bunch of different projects. Inventory system I fixed up.
Can we just talk about Martin then?
Oh god, the man, the legend.
The man, the legend himself, Martin.
He was a very laid back dude, a big music lover.
Not dumb, by the way. He's
No.
pretty smart. He's just very laid back.
And rarely saw him in clothes with less than 8 collars on them.
Yeah.
He was positively disco.
And always late.
Always late.
As in, that was part of his character. He
I
didn't even try to be on time.
I have never seen him on time for anything, and during my internship, I saw him exactly one day.
Yeah. He was the innovation manager, as far as I understood.
That's on point. He was scouting out different innovations,
Yeah.
and I've never seen him at all.
No.
Until one day when there was a big meetup between all the different branches of the library from all the cities. And he showed up too late when the presentation was already over.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, he was chronically too late for everything.
Yeah, that man was fucking cool.
Yeah. I don't know what he is doing with his life currently, but
Yeah.
he was appreciated.
But your other internships were well as well, right?
My second internship was at an architectural bureau. So, yeah, and they gave me all the freedom I wanted. They were like, you can build computers, you can manage the service, you can program stuff here. Just say where you want to apply, and we'll make it so. Which was fucking nice.
That is sick.
And thusly, one of the architects there challenged me to make this a wire schematic for one of the primary schools in the place where I lived. They were like, haha, if you can make this, I'll give you 4,000 euros. I'm just like, he obviously didn't understand to whom he was talking. So I was like, sure, buddy, I'll do that. And I just want to add that the owner of this company is pure gold. So I make this schematic, and he opens it. And he's like, ha ha ha, I bet you didn't follow the ISO 9001 standards, the 9000 standards, and the 8000 standards. And I'm like, no. I even followed the DTL standards. Everything has been made right. And he's looking at it, and he's slowly turning white, realizing he has to pay me 4,000 euros. And the owner just stands there beside him. Hey, if you had told me you had challenged him to this, I would have paid for it out of pocket. Because this is fun as fuck. But you did it to yourself, so you can pay him 4,000 euros. Dude was just gloating there. So you just
perfect.
And he's like, yeah, MBO level 3 should not be able to make an architectural schematic like this. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not there because I'm dumb. I'm there because I'm an absolute delinquent. I'm a menace. Yeah, I learned there a lot there, how more about servers and programming than I ever did at school. So, yay.
What do you mean you don't have to use a 5-year-old operating system?
Oh, yeah. Mind you, our system administrator teacher is a bit old-fashioned and rigidly believes in only what he uses. And IT, you know, that form where innovation and keeping up to date with the newest tech is kind of fucking important. Well, he didn't thusly believe in that. He had the Nintendo rhetoric going. No. Only proven software. So in like 2012, when Server 2012 was already a thing, we were still using Server 2008. Not even R2, which is based on Windows 7. R1, based on Vista. That never worked right. So this teacher already fucking hated me because I just didn't make anything in the older software. Every project I did in the newest possible software, and he just didn't understand if it worked. Did it work? Can I send email? Does the Exchange server work? Yeah, I guess so. This, the mail is coming in, but this is not what I said you should do. I'm like, okay, the concept of the process isn't that hard. So why does it matter what version of the software I use? I could have used 96. That's proven.
Yeah.
It's just fucking antique and nobody wants to use it anymore.
Yeah, it is not like he asked you to set up a Windows Outlook or Windows Exchange server and you shut up with fucking Lotus Notes.
No, oh god, no. You remind me of my third internship.
No,
but besides that,
the way you put that, yes, they were very much about the letter of the instruction rather than the spirit of the instruction. No fucking they were very rigorous in a sense.
Yeah, and also petty.
If you wrote documentation and you put a word in there that they didn't like or which they think it wasn't businesslike enough, they send it back. They say, "Oh, you're running Windows 7. What are you running away from?
Does it walk too?" That kind of shit.
Yes.
Just so that they have the slightest power play.
Yes. But they get petty about that and like, "Oh no company would accept that. You fucking walking tumor. Nobody in any company would accept it if you use an operating system from 5 years ago, unupdated."
Also, better point to slam your point home. At the exams, the final exams, we had to make a procedure. We had to write a procedure for, installing or programming something.
Yeah, you had to. You had to write so much. That exam was fucking beefy as fuck.
Yeah, but then this motherfucker goes out of the class. This is an examiner. He has to judge your documents and deem them okay. This motherfucker walks out of the fucking classroom, comes back with a dictionary and looks up the word procedure. And he doesn't even whisper or anything. He just like, "Oh, so that's what a procedure is. Okay. This motherfucker has to judge us to be good at it. You absolute shit stain."
To be fair, the exams were a fucking... What did you call that? Like,
they didn't know what they were doing, and we were supposed to do.
Yeah, it was a fucking slaughtering machine, man. All these people that spent the last 4 years of their lives just kind of cruising along, doing the most basic level of IT.
And then they expect things.
And then suddenly you get the exam, and it's like, okay, well, you have had your ETL V2. I bet you can just write an SLA in 2 hours. That we will approve. And then you still need to write... You have to write an SLA for software you had to develop on the spot.
Yeah.
You had to first...
In PHP, mind you.
Yeah, in PHP. And you had to write all the documentation around it. And the SLA. And set up a top desk server for it.
In 6 hours.
Yes.
So, okay, just to spell it out completely. We had to make an SLA. A functional design.
Yes.
A technical design.
Yes.
A procedure for it. The software we had to write from scratch, which is PHP, HTML, CSS, all encompassing bullshit. You had to set up the web server for it, because you didn't get that either.
MySQL
database for it.
Yep.
And then you had to make the server around it for the function that this web server had to apply to. Then you had to program the actual stuff, and that all you had to represent to them in 6 hours. Saying that the time crunch was stupid is underselling it.
I do feel kind of sorry, because we had one guy that made it.
Yeah.
Just one guy who made it in one shot, which was our friend.
To be fair, I just want to add, they got him a lot of slack in the documenting department.
Yeah.
Because he is dyslexic.
Yeah.
So even if he said, lol, the lollipop is tasty, they wouldn't even read it. They were like, "Oh, okay, he's dyslexic. He can't help that.
We can't discriminate him."
Yeah.
But
not underselling that he actually was working hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This guy works hard as fuck.
But yeah, it was kind of stupid.
Very ambitious and very passionate person.
And they were like, "No, everyone failed."
Yes.
And then they get the stupidest reasons why.
Yes, I made it through. I ended up getting retroactively approved because I wrote a very angry letter because they fucked up on technicality.
Yeah.
Because I'd made a mistake in what my software did, but I had written that mistake in the functional and technical design, and they approved those designs.
Yeah.
And I wrote a very sternly worded letter to the entire school, including all the teachers and the
coordinator.
Yeah, directorial staff, pointing that out. And then I got notified that upon review, I did make it.
The only thing I failed was the programming part, because the one who was judging my project was actually the only strict teacher there. I got Friese.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, the format of your dates is wrong. I don't accept this. And this was already at the end of the day. And I'm like, seriously, dude? You're discrediting me because of the order the date is in. I wrote this in my documentation the exact same way as it's represented here, and you gave the okay for that. This is the stupidest bullshit, but I was like, whatever. I'll make it real nice next time for the re-examination. So I have a friend who is really good at PHP, and he's the biggest fucking nut. He's also a fat ass. He is very easy to let him do stuff for you for food. So I was like, okay, I'll pay a month worth of McDonald's for you if you write me a PHP script with all these functions in it, and just with flags, so I can enable functions on the fly. Because I'm not good at PHP, never will be, don't care for it.
No.
It should not be the deciding factor if you're a good IT person. That's a programming job, not an IT job.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but he was like, oh, sure, I'll do that. So I had this super exaggerated script, which has all these functions perfectly interwoven with CSS stuff, and it was beautiful. I thanked him a lot, paid 2 months of McDonald's for him, because he delivered far too much work for what he did. I just showed up to the exam. For the re-exam, you just get a technical design, and you have to follow that technical design. So I literally you could bring your own stuff, which the stupid part is you can bring your own code, as long as this code is available online. Yeah. So I just ran a website from home with this code on it. And I was just like, yeah, you can get it from the web, so I can use it here. And they were like, fair. So I just put the flags that needed to be done, literally stood in 2 minutes, gave him the stick. Oh, that was quick. Yeah. Can you check it? Yeah, that works. You can go. Second time I got vouchers to judge. And he's just like, yeah.
That helps a lot.
Yeah, he was just like, fuck off. It's fine. You're true. Okay, fine. Bye. That school was a horror show.
Yeah.
I want to remind you too that literally in the period of the exams, that was the moment I was got kicked out of my house and went to live on my own.
Yep.
So yeah, I had to fix that and study for the exams and do something I'm not used to, programming.
And when I earlier said that these were people who for the past 4 years just kind of cruised along on easy mode, I mean that.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
It was really just a playground
and a SharePoint.
Yep.
Literally everyone who did the project, one person did the project, and every documentation got shared.
Yep.
And I didn't share my document, so I know my back then project partner did, because someone was like, oh, what is geographically the put-apart landlines? And I'm like, somebody took my documentation, because I'm the only motherfucker that used that wording. Yeah, they used a lot of my documentation there. They still did, because Robin was a year under us, and they used my documentation as an example of how to write good documentation. These motherfuckers never approved of me. But when it's convenient for them, they'll use my stuff. Fuck you, and Bill. For
my database export, because I'm pretty good at database stuff, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that too.
And that got widely shared around as well.
Oh yeah.
In time for the exams.
I liked Maurice's style. He said to the class, or to the teachers, yo, I'm on vacation in the exam period. And the school was like, yeah, sure. You can go on vacation just as long as you do your exams before then. He didn't even go on vacation. He just did the exam before everyone else, got approved, and he sold the answers to everyone. And the school wasn't suspicious a bit. They were just like, yeah, okay. That's how much effort this school put into plagiarism.
But kind of the format of the education. Every time you had a project, that would take up 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And you had a partner for that. And I think we both have some fun horror stories in that regard.
Yeah.
We never did one together, did we?
We did.
Oh, yeah, wait, we did.
My depression kicked in, so yeah. I remember.
I was like, yeah, I finally get to work with this fucking... Because I immediately recognized that you're very much on a different level in terms of IT. You and Danny especially. You're just operating on such a more technical level. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta work with him. Gets a fucking depressive streak. Didn't see him for weeks.
At least I was nice about it.
Yes.
At least I was like, okay, I fucking, by the end of the period, we got an extension for like 3 days. And I was like, no, I fucked up. You can go and do whatever vacation it was. Fall, spring, I don't remember anymore.
I don't remember either.
And I was like, you go and do vacation. You did your part, I'll do my part. I fucked up, no biggie. So you went home, you got approved, and literally the same day, okay, Pettry's stuff got approved too, because he wasn't a depressed asshole anymore, so he did literally all the documentation in a few hours.
Well, I'm not so much concerned that you would have left me in the dirt. I was more sad that I lost the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah, fair.
And, that ship has sailed at this point.
Yeah, definitely, because I just don't do general IT anymore.
Nope.
That's not the fit. I mean, I'm passionate about IT, but it's just, how do I say this without sounding like an absolute cockwad? I can't fully use my skill set within the baser functions of IT. I think that's the nicest way of putting it.
I think that works.
Because while we were doing MBO4, I want to remind you, I was also doing a master study, university masters, on the side. So yeah, I was pretty busy besides actual normal schooling. And after that, I got another master. So yeah, it's not... Depressive episodes were a thing because mental burnout is definitely a thing.
Yes, especially if you don't have the medications to notice it.
No, and especially if you have a stepmother that's just like, bite through it, just do more work. Why be depressed? Be happy. She was that type.
Just like your cat.
Yeah, problem for me being I'm also autistic, so I take everything at face value. So I was taught that depression was a bad thing, and if I suffer from it, I'm obviously an invalid. So
you
yeah,
carry the bad vibes. Be gone.
Be gone. So yeah, only after living on my own and coming to terms and going to therapy for it, I've accepted. No, this is just something I have to deal with in my own terms and get medicated for, and then I'm fairly functional. I can stay fairly functional.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of stuff you hear from organizations like Autism Speaks.
Oh, fuck.
No,
I'm not going into it. I'm just saying, oh, fuck.
Yeah, let's skip that for now.
Yes.
I think the biggest horror story I have is with was a project with a guy named Dio.
Literally God. The dude is literally called God in Italian.
Also later found out that we're more closely related than I anticipated.
Yeah,
but
it happens.
That's completely besides the point. We had a project, and I think it was just another Windows Server fucking thing we had to do.
Yeah.
On outdated Windows software. But project proceeded, and like basically on the first day, he asked me, hey, he got wind that I'd played World of Warcraft.
Oh, Christ.
And I'd already fallen out with World of Warcraft at that point because it was fucking 2013, 14.
No, 14 was when we're done. 13 at the latest.
No?
Yeah.
2015 is when we find out.
No, 14.
Oh, no, wait, 2015 is when I found my job. Sorry.
Yes, I was about to say.
Yes. 2013. So I was already out of World of Warcraft by quite a while by then. And he asked me, well, is that game fun? I said, well, yeah, it used to be fun. I did a fuck ton of stuff in there. And just told him some random stuff, just kind of light conversation. If you ask me, hey, what fun things did you do in World of Warcraft? We can fill 2 of these side character podcasts.
Okay, but can I make that very short? Because if I say to you, everything good in World of Warcraft ended at Burning Crusade, are you that dude?
No.
Okay.
No,
because those are pretty prevalent.
I have fucking amazing memories from Burning Crusade and Wrath Lich King. Okay. But to get on with it, he basically asked me a few things and I said, that sounds interesting. Like, he was way more receptive, and I thought, maybe this project won't be so bad.
And then it turned very bad.
The next day, he was playing World of Warcraft in class. And I've seen him over the course of our 8 project week, see him go through the entire leveling experience up until Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't played yet. And he just kept saying to me, man, look at this. This is so much nicer than Burning Crusader and After Lich King. You should go back and play this some. And he had done literally nothing. He had done nothing for the project. He'd just been playing World of Warcraft. And I just kind of figured, well, I'm not going to fucking fight him on this. So I explained the situation to the teachers and said that I was peacing out.
I did my part. He isn't refusing, but he did nothing on his part. Well, you urged him to.
Yeah, and on the day that we had to show up to kind of catch up on the project, because it wasn't done, as you said, grace period 3 days, I just didn't show up. And a mutual friend of ours informed me that he was threatening to beat me to a pulp if and when I did show up. Like, okay, we're adults. I'm gonna send this to the school, and if he doesn't retract it, I'm sending it to the police. And it didn't come to that, but he was a lot nicer to me when we did show up. I have not been beaten to a pulp as of yet.
As of yet.
No. But that was fucking disaster.
Yeah, most of my projects were pretty tame, especially in the beginning, because I had Ben to put up with. Put up with is not nice of saying it. Ben is a very nice dude. He's just not very bright, but he has the work ethic to correct that.
Okay, sweet.
He absolutely worked his ass off, even if he didn't fully understand what he was doing, which I appreciated, because I like teaching people as long as they're receptive. And so I really tried working with him a lot, and our projects usually went very smoothly. But after a while, Danny came into our class.
Danny!
He was... Well, even back then, he was a little bit more autistic, let's just say.
Danny!
And they know I'm autistic, so they were like... I already had planned with Rolf, I believe, to do the project together. And then the director just came in and he was like, Nope, you must do a project with Danny since you're both autistic. I just stared at him.
Was that Summers?
No. Oh. No, this was Hendrix.
Oh, God.
Even worse. And I'm just sitting there looking at it. I'm so sorry. What now? Yeah, he comes into your class and he has to learn to function in normal society, was pretty much what they told me. And I'm like, sorry, so you're putting him in a class to try and function like a normal person, but you still put him with the autist, the other autist in the group. That sounds a little bit backwards, don't you think? Just put him in another bubble of protective autism.
Society.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, fucking fine, I'll do it. We did fine. That was never the problem, because Danny is very good at IT. He's just not the best at documenting, and he can be a bit hasty at times. But we did the whole thing, and I'm still just kind of offended and annoyed at that logic.
Yeah, the school had the spirit to take care of autistic students, just not the mindset for it.
No, absolutely
because
not.
That's why I brought up Summers, because he was such a fucking cringe lord.
Oh, yeah. He is the gayest non-gay person I've ever seen. Not a demerit, once again. He literally came into the class like, fabulous day, ain't it? Just pep in the step, literally almost hopping into class. Mm-hmm. Giant rainbow shirt on, and I'm just like, this dude must be gay, right? Like, seriously, he reeks of it. And he's like, yeah, my 2 children are doing fine. They're not adopted. Not gay. Just very much acting like it. In the stereotypical sense. But I have luckily never had the displeasure of actually having to deal with him, because he only did my intake for that school. And he was like, I think you can't ever do level 4. And I'm like, are you dumb? Just let me start at level 4. No, never. You will start at level 2. I think you can barely handle that. And you literally have to be brain dead. You literally have to have no neuronal activation up in the brain space to not get level 2. You don't even have to do IT stuff for level 2. It's horrible. But yeah, besides the point, you wanted to make a statement.
Yeah, just more ranting about Summers, because he was such a fucking special person.
Yeah,
the most you could... He was in charge of communications, in a sense.
Yeah.
Which basically meant that he was in charge of fucking unbearable corporate speak. No, we're not on the same frequency here. There's a disturbance between us.
The dude was absolutely horrible.
But one thing that always stood out to me is that in the first year, we got classes for basically how to be how to do IT support of a phone. So they put up a big screen in the middle of the class. He sit on one end, you sit on one end, you get fake ass telephones, and he just does a call with you that you have to go through. I remember that they were all pretty easy until we got to one student. One thing that we didn't know is that this student basically had a dead name. He didn't use his old name in any way, not on any documentation, never. And he just started calling him by that name, just constantly.
Ah, yeah.
Even before they had to go, and just kept. It got him fucking tilted. He got fucking angry when he did that.
Yeah.
And he just kept doing that, and just in the call, like, yeah, I'm calling for this problem. Name? Did you hear me correctly? Name? Why aren't you answering this question correctly? Name? Just not fucking interrogating the guy. And that was pretty much the point. I just, at first you have kind of respect for the guy, like, oh, okay, he's a bit twee, but he's trying to help. And it's like, no, that was a fucking asshole move.
Yeah, he was just trying to get him to get angry.
Yeah, he was deliberately trying to make this guy feel, and specifically this guy, because everybody else he went super easy on. Yeah,
on that note, as I said previously, some of the teachers were very petty. They played favorites a lot. And as I already said, I'm usually at the bad end of the spectrum unless a teacher knows some banter. Like, Bas really liked me, the Dutch teacher.
Yeah.
And I was just a wisecrack, and he was like, you're not wrong. And I can appreciate that. And our second IT, general IT teacher, Geuko,
yeah,
he liked me too, because I just wisecrack. But our little tumbleweed, let's just call him.
Yes.
Welling, he did not like me, because I think he got the impression that I was smarter than him, or...
Well, that's not difficult, but...
Well, no, but that's also not the point I was trying to make.
No.
But he felt very offended by my very presence. So I just... Okay, if you connect to a server, you get this notification that there's not a certificate. And usually you just put in okay, and it never appears again, and you can go. We had 500 users in this project. Asinine amount of numbers, but it was easily fixed. And I had to come forward to the class and let him grade my work. And I connected to the server under a user, and he was like, oh, I don't want to see that certification notification. I'm like, dude, I can't make a local certificate. I can't fix this with a local certificate. I'm not a CA. I'm not a certificate authority. I'm not going to make a certificate authority server because you don't like this notification. Everyone has this notification. You can't disable it. You can't do it with group policies either. So you have to go. So he was no, I don't want to see it. So I had to log in every fucking user, disable it by hand, come back. Okay. Fine, whatever, I'll let you through. And I'm like, oh, I fucking hated this dude. He just was obnoxious for the sake of being obnoxious.
Yeah, well, that's getting back to the petty thing.
Yeah.
What, oh, your server is running? What's it running from?
Yeah, oh, fuck's sake. No, the same with Geuko. He was just fun. Because we had the server troubleshooting with him.
Yeah. You
had to make a server and he would disable something, break something. But I was smart enough to make automated backups and such.
Yeah.
And he was somewhat more business sense. So he just fucked with my server and I just turned up and I'm like, automatic repair past update, enter. He just looks at me. You don't know what the issue was. No, but is it fixed? Well, you have me there. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, and that's the stuff you want, right? You want to get a generation of people ready to be IT specialists, and being an IT specialist is not specifically about just knowing how to install a Windows server and fix
mundane issues.
Fix a DNS role in a way that no DNS role would naturally break ever.
No.
It's about ingenuity. It's about
fast resolving, proper resolving of issues.
Proper resolving of issues, preempting problems, procedures,
having redundancy.
Yeah, redundancy and anticipation of what you should realistically expect.
Yes.
There's a lot of very good... IT has a lot of soft skills you need that are way more important than just...
knowledge.
Yeah, than just knowing what Linux commandos show you the contents of a directory.
Exactly.
Because that's stuff you can Google in 10 seconds. But you can't just Google how to develop a sense of what is redundancy in IT and how to orchestrate it correctly for your specific environment.
Exactly. So he was just looking at me. But if you don't know the issue, how have you solved it? Do I need to know? I don't need to know. Everyone just wants the server to function. Yeah. Why should I need to know what broke?
I actually told you this earlier today, that I had to work this weekend, and at one point our server just didn't come back up.
Yeah.
Gave us errors based on the software that we use that I'd never seen, and we can't troubleshoot anything with it. We'd have to reach out to the fucking company that made the software.
Yeah.
But it's in the weekend, and we're not gonna get a support call in now. So, fuck it, I'll just put the backup up.
Yeah, exactly. But he was like, and he was just looking at me a bit, pouting a slight bit, because he obviously took pride in what he caused. And he was like, fine, but next week, we'll do this again. And I saw him orchestrating in his head for, like, I'll disable his auto backup features and such. And he just did that, caused another issue, and just like, ha! Now you have to fix what I caused. And I'm like, fuck you, I have a USB stick with even more automated backups. Click! And he just stood there, beaten down by utter incompetence.
Pulverized.
And he's just like, I can fight this. Yeah, fuck it. You win. He just acknowledged defeat. He's just like, yeah, fine, you win. You obviously are more prepared than I am. And I was like, yeah. I appreciate you as a teacher. You actually taught us stuff, was enthusiastic to teach us it, and if I were smarter than you, you accept it. Or at least I was smarter than you in this particular circumstance. And I was like, fine, you win. And he rolled with it. I really like this dude.
Yeah, that's the kind of teacher.
A good sport.
Yeah.
And I just always took pity on Verschoor.
Teachers as equals is just so much more interesting to learn from.
Yeah. He didn't badger us.
Yeah, we weren't fucking teens at that point. Like fucking adults at that point. So
yeah. Almost 20, some of us. So
you need a degree of mutual respect.
Yeah. And I really like Verschoor in that regard too. It's just that he had the most horrible thing to teach us.
Oh, fucking muff.
Service desk.
Yeah, that too.
Service desk with Itel and what the fuck was it called? Top desk.
Top desk.
And he was trying to teach us that, and everyone was bored with it. And I'm just there like, he's really trying to give us this info. He obviously knows a lot about it. It's just that nobody cares at all. I had such pity for the dude because he really liked what he was teaching people. He was enthusiastic about it, and I'm just like, I like your... And I literally just once walked up to him, and I was like, I appreciate you. Because I had the idea he kind of needed it. It was fucking sad. And he's like, oh, didn't expect that. Thank you. Do you have any pointers? He gave me a document with some pointers and such, and he was super happy about it. And like I just like, yeah, no, sometimes even teachers need to pick me up, I suppose.
No, that isn't true. I read somewhere that autistic people are emotionless husks.
Oh, fuck you, I'm empathic as fuck. No, as you said, sometimes teachers, especially when you're in advanced education, you have to have mutual respect, and it's also for the student. So I just like, this dude obviously wants to teach us this. It's just that nobody cares, and I kind of feel sad for that.
I didn't mind Top Desk really, because I also used it at my internship, so I had some experience with it.
Yeah, but it's not like you would go out and ask questions about it. It's just okay, fine.
That's not really a case of interest. That's just how I was as a student. Remember, I just don't like learning.
Yeah, I'm very, very much a learning person.
Oh dear. I've been working for years while you were still in school. It's like, God damn, you're still studying.
Oh, and I was working.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, of course,
both,
because you just couldn't otherwise sustain yourself.
No, fair enough. No, as I said, at this point I have 2 master degrees, so
I think
studying is a thing.
What are some other fun anecdotes that gone to mind with school? I think one for me was when I was late afterwards informed that I had the gayest presentation ever. Because I had to present something in class, and I just went about it to my impression very naturally. But my natural pose is usually to lean on things.
I've been called Hitler,
and just put my hand,
on your side, cock hip.
And I did the whole presentation, and at one point I closed PowerPoint, but I was still plugged into the cable, and just get this fucking giant Yuri poster from what was it again? Is the Order of Rabbit?
Oh God,
that's my background.
Yeah, I've been told at university that I present like Hitler. I'm always at the back of a desk because I'm pretty good at presenting, but it's just I am very anxious about it, so my knees start buckling. I can't help it. I know it's not a problem because I speak very clearly, never an issue. But I know it's just I get anxious. And I always present with my hands at my back.
Yes, because otherwise you start gesticulating all over the place.
I don't know what I have to do with my hands otherwise.
I'm having so many fights with the fucking microphone today.
Keke. But then my teacher at university just stops me halfway through, and he was just like, "You present like Hitler." Plugs in his laptop, starts playing Hitler speeches, and I'm like, the fuck, dude? Also, Jesus. After he showed me that, he was like, "You're presenting very well. You may continue." And I'm like, okay.
Why did you
feel the need to show this in the middle of my presentation?
How did you have that on quick draw?
And also that was also disconcerting. But I was just like, okay, I guess.
Just has a function knob on his laptop, just FN, and then F11 is just open up the Hitler speeches.
So you just, you get a good grade. That's no problem. Just, I thought I needed to say this, and I'm like, do I need to work on it? Oh, no, absolutely not. It's fine. And I'm like, that doesn't sound fine, buddy. But all right.
I am very convinced right now of whatever you just told us.
But yeah, we, in the last year of our level 4 education, we had English, but our normal English teacher was on pregnancy leave, maternity leave.
Yeah.
So we got another English teacher, and she didn't know what the fuck to do. She didn't know what grade we were, how to judge us. But we had to do presentations.
Mm-hmm.
So I made my presentation. I present. Then he makes his presentation. He presents. We're both the only truly autistic people in this class.
Yeah.
And then everyone has the fucking gall to ask this teacher, can we present in private? Because I don't want to present for the class. That's scary. And everybody that did that got a higher grade than Danny and I. And I'm like, motherfucker, if you're going to present in private with no one around, you don't deserve a higher grade than C-, barely passing. Because if you can present in front of a group, then what's the point of presenting?
Yeah, retroactively, I wish that whenever I did ask for that at one point. I'm not sure if it was in our class as well, because I do remember giving presentations for the entire class. But also in middle school and such, I always asked to do presentations in private, and I wish they would have refused. Because, yeah, it's awkward giving presentations in private.
I fucking hate it, but that's the point of it.
Yeah, that's the point of it. That's kind of what prepares you for later So you keep getting better at it. Yeah,
Yes.
it fucking sucks, but yeah, it has to suck.
But I was very happy because in the end, because Subba came back, our usual English teacher. I was fuming. I was so fucking angry at this. So I went to her and I was like, okay, Danny and I were literally the only ones to do this presentation in front of the class. Maybe one or two other ones, I don't fully remember. But most of the class did it in private. And I was just like, and they got higher grades. I feel very discredited here. And just truly a little bit offended. I'm usually not fast to be offended, but I was annoyed at this. And she was just like, she falls like quiet, silent, and then she looks at me. No, this is bullshit. You two get a higher, one grade higher, and everyone just get barely passing grade. Everyone's grade got changed retroactively. It's still passing, so 99% of the class was fine with it. But even she was just like, this is an injustice. This is bullshit.
No, I rightfully agree with that.
And especially since it's English, because most of MBO level 4 can't speak English for shit. Not saying that I'm the best at it. Speaking is always an issue, for me at least. But I did do my Cambridges. I did do this very uncomfortable presentation in front of people that did not care about what I was talking about. And then getting slapped in the face with everyone getting a higher grade that can not even say the word proprietary, let alone think of the meaning of it, was kind of annoying.
Yeah, no, that is totally justified. I understand.
And she was like, yeah, no, this is utter bullshit. So retroactively, it meant nothing, but the symbolic meaning of it alone gave me more appreciation for her. She was just like, no, this is bullshit. You're right. Let's change the grades. They're still passing. I can't do anything about that, because I'm not going to let everyone represent again. So I'm just like, that's fine. Just a symbolic thing for me, because I absolutely fucking live it.
Symbolic gestures are worthwhile.
Yeah, and I'm very public. As in, if I'm angry, I'll make it known.
Yes.
And as I said, I'm not often offended. This was one of the only times I was truly offended at school. And the procedure thing. You can't judge people if you don't know the meaning itself. But yeah, whatever.
I guess one other incident in which we weren't directly involved was between Danny and our good friend Michel.
Oh, yeah, that was the part where I said he learned some self-restraint.
Yes.
It was beautiful, because in the entire situation, I felt the slow motion and I heard Michel's thoughts. It was beautiful.
All yours then.
Well, he had a laptop, and to make a long story short, his graphics card has shielding over it, but it can short the main board out, so the entire graphics card just poof, laptop gone.
Yes.
And Danny at that point was not adjusted to non-autistic life.
Yes, and we should specify, this isn't like a little zip and it's gone. This was just full-on rasping noise in the back of the class.
Yeah.
Screen flip, freaking out, and just suddenly
gone.
Just black screen. Nothing. No life in it anymore.
And instead of like, oh man, that sucks, or whatever, Danny just stands up, ha! Points at him, screams, ha! That's broken! In the most gleeful tone ever. Like he took enjoyment out of it. And Michel just stands up, and I want to remind you, he does, what's it called? Enthusiast cycling.
Yes, he's a cyclist.
And so he's pretty toned, pretty ripped. Not as much muscular as ripped. And you literally see 3 of his veins on his forehead just popping, just bulging. You see him turning red. And I hear his thoughts. I want to rip his head off. But if I punch him, I'll be known as the dude that punched the fucking autist in the class. And I just see him dancing and dancing and just sit down. I hear him breathe in. Just ignore it. I hear it scream to himself. And then he just sits down like nothing happened. And I was just like, oh God, this couldn't gone so much worse. But the entire situation is burned into my mind. It was so beautiful. Yeah, that was properly horrible.
Michel actually ended up saving us once, which was, I think, his redemption arc. No, that was still in the second year, actually.
Okay, because I was thinking of one other situation. Because, okay, I want to remind people, Danny, I, and Casper just coexisted at this point.
Yeah, the fucking retard triangle.
The retard triangle. But we have something in common. Our parents all died of cancer.
Yes.
And they were playing World of Warcraft. And one of our classmates said, there is so much retarded fucking autists in this fucking game. And in Dutch, we like to curse with illnesses.
Yes. We are very much known to do that.
And Maurice, out of nowhere, he's like, you stupid cancerous retard. There are autists in our class. And we were just all sitting there like, thank you. I guess you tried to defend us, but it kind of got lost because we all have parents that that died to cancer.
Well, I was not included in that. I'm not autistic.
No, but the same sentiment is still there.
Same sentiment, yes. I was not defended. I only got the impact.
Yeah, I was just looking there and I was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not touching them with a 10-foot pole. I can't be offended. He tried.
Maybe if he called him a cancerous homo or something, I could be extra included.
No, I was just like, I can't be offended, but he tried to defend me. I'm okay with this. I'll just let it roll. God damn it.
I'll just take peace with this.
Yeah.
No, when in the second year before we met, we had not exactly gymnastics, like fitness class.
Yeah, we had to go to a local fitness center.
Local fitness center, which is fucking far away because the city this school is in was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it wasn't even a city. It was a town at best.
Barely. But we had to trace all the way across the fucking town/city to get to this fucking fitness center. And some of the local youth took umbrage with that. And at one point, I don't even know what triggered them to start this, but they were cycling past us, got angry at something, stopped the cyclist, and started picking fight with us. And this was me and the guys that would then go on to do the fast track.
Yeah.
So the actual nerds. Yeah, the actual nerds. Like nobody with a muscle mass that would impress the average toddler.
No, exactly.
So that was a problem. And at that point, Michel and his friends caught up behind us. And they noticed that we were in trouble. And they just broke out into full-on clown mode. Which was...
I'm just picturing it, and I love it.
You see Michel just step up to this guy, the biggest grin on his face ever. It's like, hey, what you doing there, buddy? What you doing there, buddy?
Picking on the nerds.
Starts talking down to him, and this guy just backs up. And Michel just starts fiddling with his stuff. It's like, oh, that's a nice coat. Starts zip, coat. The guy slaps his hand away, other hand, zips the coat all the way down. He just kind of tilts his head to zip back up, and he just knocks his cap off. He's just fucking clowning on this dude. And they instantly, just any will to pick a fight just instantly evaporates. And he never said anything about that anymore. He just okay, see you guys in fitness.
Yeah.
That was it.
Just a nice gesture.
Yeah, but I left earlier that day, and then I learned later that some of my friends were threatened on the train station because I had to train earlier, and the same guys had some backup come in. And picked a fight on the train station, which for this city is basically fucking ghetto, middle of nowhere, with no oversight, no staff, nothing. So that was kind of a problem, and for a while they actually bounced around the idea of pushing charges. Nothing came of it besides intimidation. But one guy knew exactly who these people were because he also came from that village,
le town.
Yes, and so he knew these people and wouldn't give the names because he didn't want to be involved.
Exactly.
So nothing came of it. But that was a nice little redemption arc.
Yeah. I had one physical altercation on that school. I mean, I have many physical altercations with your nephew.
Yes.
Because he for some reason felt like he must be alpha. I don't know. We'll get to that. But I had one physical altercation after which none of the school ever fucked with me again. I want to remind you, I'm also 6'8". I'm just usually a bumbling oaf.
If he stands up, he's not on the camera.
No, I'm usually just a bumbling oaf. I don't really care. If you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. If you mess with me, I'll mess back. Just don't get physical with me and don't keep bringing up my mother. That's just general rule. Most people wouldn't just continuously bring up your dead mom. But this dude just felt like pushing my buttons for some reason. Yeah, he didn't go to school there anymore after that. And for a change, the teachers actually didn't intervene and they weren't even mad. Bouterse en...
Friesen?
Nope.
Hendricks?
Nope. Gay dude. Somers, thank you. They were just watching by the sideline and I saw them and I was like, I'm going to be pulled off this dude. And I just fucking went to town on him. I broke his arm and 3 ribs of him, at least. And I think I broke his clavicle. And they were just like... Nope.
I don't even know what that is.
Collarbone. And they were just like, nope, not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. And I just get off him, calm down. He just lays there in a fucking heap of his own, well, at that point I think it was piss. And the teachers were like, well, you're done? I'm very much done. Walk away, ambulance comes, picks him up, and never saw the dude again. After that, I never got issues.
What did he even try to do? Why?
I don't even know. He was just trying to pick a fight and annoy me. He just didn't expect me to physically assault him, I guess. And for a change, the teachers were just like, nah, he 100% deserved that beatdown. We're not even the parents didn't even contact my parents, whatever. Just like, yeah, he went to hospital, he fucked up, never came back, never heard of him. Freak accident, nobody knows. Nobody cares. Even my friend group back then, because this is level 2, so this was with Pim and Martin and such. And they were even like, yeah, no, fair enough. All power to you.
Boy, howdy, that was a fight.
That wasn't a fight.
No.
I don't even think he struggled. I don't remember. I just know I laid him into an armbar, rushed my heel into his collarbone, and kicked his ribs a few times.
On a lighter note, I just remembered a story, but I don't remember what the guy who cast it was called.
Oh, Christ.
Huh?
Oh, Christ.
Well, it's not a big story. It's a sad story, maybe. It was kind of the guy in class who's a little too enthusiastic about weed. That kind of guy. Yeah. And he was with us in the first year of IT class, and he was a special fellow, I have to say. And every year since then, he dropped out in the first year, and I still routinely saw him on the train station. And every time I asked, he was doing a different study.
Yes.
Every time I saw him, he asked if he could borrow some money.
Just to a stranger.
Well, not a stranger. He was with me in my first year class.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't take it he ever went to your house or...
No.
So he's just a classmate, so he's effectively a stranger.
He's actually the guy I bought the N64 games from.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He's a friend of Dan.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe that's also why Dan made me pay an extra €20.
Yes,
doesn't
definitely.
But at one point we were writing documentation, and we had to draw a schematic. That's it. Because we all got some paper and we had to draw the schematic. And at one point, we all had to show it. And like, hey, dude, whatever your name is, show me what you made. He just turns the paper out. Pigeon. He drew a pigeon.
Okay.
And that pigeon was left up in the classroom to patch up a hole somebody had punched in the wall.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That pigeon outlasted him. Yeah, but I think these kind of stories paint what a fuck.
Don't care.
What a nonsensical mess high school really is in the Netherlands. Especially,
yeah, it's not even high school. It's supposed to be university, like your GED. It's supposed to be after middle school.
Yeah.
So, and not really high school. our school system is pretty weird in that regard.
Yeah, it's not comparable, but
No.
it is what a whole lot of Dutch students go through. And
I just want to add that your nephew was pure gold.
he is still pure gold.
The dude, like seriously, I want to add this before we end it because it's just funny to me. The dude would hassle you at the door, just want to shake your hand, and he just would pinch with all his might just to try and crush your hand or make you call uncle to let go. He did that to some people, and then he did to me, and I'm just staring him in the face, and he's like, stupid grin appears on his face, and I'm like, ah, you poor soul, I start. And my grin starts winding, and his grin starts fading. So I start to push on his carpal tunnel. Oh, it's not that fun anymore, is it? Crunch harder, and I hear then go that way. Some of his knuckles start cracking, and you're like, want me to let go, buddy? Okay. Okay, good. Go into the classroom.
Oh, he also slammed him into the ground one time, and he randomly decided that he wanted to wrestle you.
Yeah, after that he just got a hard-on for wrestling me for some reason or trying to prove he's physically stronger than me.
Oh, gosh, you gave him a humiliation fetish.
Yes! Dude, start tackling me and I'm just like, lol, to the ground you go. And at one time he wanted to arm wrestle, I'm just sitting down. No. Just playing with him at that point because I was enjoying myself far too much with this dude.
But yeah, it's a one big idiotic mess. And kind of held back by just lackluster teaching. But hey, we got a teacher shortage as well.
Yeah,
ain't life splendid?
Yeah, I was about to say because Welling, our IT management, that dude wasn't even a teacher. He had no teaching degree. He just had a local company, and they were like, "Lol, we need teachers. Want extra money?"
Yeah, he was like an auditor.
Yeah,
and a very shit auditor, really.
Definitely.
Based on what he told us, he was just fucking annoying, useless shot.
Yeah,
like he'd boast about telling people what he would need to do the audit, and if they gave it to him, it's like, "Oh, you failed the audit because you gave me this information," and yeah, IT security starts with the people. Social aspect, social engineering, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know.
You dumb oaf.
But if you presume that, then auditing is literally impossible. Of course you're going to get a runtime user to access the system.
Also, I just love how he was universally hated by the entire school.
Of course.
I mean, he was a giant asshat. Nobody liked him. With good reason. But yeah, that entire school was filled by non-passionate teachers that didn't want to be there. They were just there for a paycheck.
Yes.
And we didn't want to be there either.
Yes, students that also would rather not be there. But hey, now that we're here, we might as well play some games.
Yep. Oh, okay, one more story.
Okay, one more, because it's you.
Yeah. We had this teacher in level 2, and he saw us playing games, and he's like, yeah, I want to play games with you. We're like, oh, fine, whatever, here, have the game, play with us. And after the lesson was over, the hour, he went to the director and he was like, they were playing games in my class, unacceptable. They should all have go to detention. Mind you, we're all like 16, 17, what the fuck's a detention? You sad motherfucker. And he was like, so the director came in, Hendricks, and he was like, no, you all need to stay after school, do whatever it is that you did in that class. And Patrick who was hosting the server, was smart enough to keep the logs. And he was like, the motherfucker's playing with us. Here's the logs. And Hendricks looks at it, looks at him, just shakes his head, walks out the classroom. He stands there, kind of defeated. We never saw that teacher again. I think he was fired the same day. He was trying to blame us for playing games while he was joining us. Absolute shitbag of a human being.
Oh, man. At least don't be so idiotic. Just give a proof of, oh yeah, play games in my class, that's fine, and then report them later if you want to be a shitbag. Why did you play?
Yes. Like, seriously. He didn't even warn us. He was just like, oh yeah, I want to play some games too. It's fine. I'm a hip teacher. Fuck you.
I'm with the hip, young, cool crowd.
Yeah, that. God fucking damn it. No, afterwards, I'm pretty happy I went there because I've made really good friends. I had I have fun stories to tell.
Yay.
We just didn't learn anything.
No, and I don't use any of the skills that I learned there in my daily work now.
No, me either.
I get paid more than the teaching staff.
I think you get paid enough for 2 teachers, actually.
Yay!
And, well, from the group that we still know, Rolf doesn't apply any of his knowledge either. He went on to become a functional tester.
Yep.
The only one that wants to apply his... but that's not even what he got taught in school. It's just that he has a natural curiosity for IT management is Danny.
Yes.
And he still wants to do that. It's just, yeah, well, certification is a bitch. Let's just keep it at that.
He was doing something resembling what he learned in school until I poached him. Scouted, that's the word.
Well, actually, not even then he did. His first job was pretty nice because he actually did system administration. And after that, it became less and less. But he'll have to fix that himself, I guess. Bram works as an IT service desk manager now. And he's the only one that literally became what he studied for.
I never see Brom, except for when we have a party here. And every time I see Brom, it's like, yay!
He's literally the most normal motherfucker that went to that school.
Yeah. And he's just a fucking awesome guy.
Yeah, he's just nice and wholesome. You can't demerit the guy.
I don't have active contact with him, but whenever we hang out, it's like, yeah.
You're nice. You're a normal human being. Weird. Unfathomable for the school we went to.
Yeah.
90% were weirdos. But look at us.
Yes.
We made it in life. You got lucky and got a good job. And you still have a good job. I studied a lot, got annoyed a lot, got some good jobs, and then some bad jobs, and now I've started my own company. Hey! I'm getting there.
Success is what you make of the things that are handed to you.
Definitely, and success is also what you make yourself.
It would have been nice if people would have handed me more, though.
You got it good.
Yeah, but I mean, as in from the school.
Oh,
it would have been nice to have been handed more.
I mean... I considered in year 3 to actually move to another school because I was just that set annoyed with how little we were learning.
Yeah, but
I was even accepted at the new school.
But then you get Danny's problem. It doesn't matter where you go. There's fucking idiots everywhere.
Yeah, no, I want to go to Edwin School, KW1C in Zettelbos. They actually have a real good IT study there. It's just that something came in between that. aka more family members dying, me having some personal issues, so I couldn't transfer if I wanted to. In the end, I'm happy I finished there, not because of what I learned, but because of the people I got to know. But yeah, no, this school... there's a reason why it's disbanded. The school doesn't exist anymore. Yeah!
Sweet absolution. Yeah.
Also, the best joke I ever made there was the director just happily proclaiming that we were the second best the ROC of the Netherlands. And I'm just like, there are more than 2 then? he did not like my banter. Did not appreciate it at all. He was genuinely proud of his achievement. I didn't get his pride at all because it was a shit state of a school.
I mean, I don't like shitting on other people's pride, but your pride is kind of ruining my future prospects here.
I mean, as I said, that Unix company where Nicky went, I went there for an interview. You got that book. I got the book from that interview.
Yeah.
And they were like, where are you? Which school did you do? ROC Rivor. Oh, you poor fucker. You were taught nothing. You have no knowledge. I'm like, whoa, calm down. The school might have not learned me anything, but I know things. He's like, fine, here's a Unix stack. And I'm like, there's your issue. Okay, fine, you know things. But that school is utter trash. And it is bad when a company where people intern at just literally start shit-talking schools. And this is one of the most professional companies regarding Unix in the Netherlands. So yeah, that just paints the perfect image of the school. But yeah.
Yes, let's end it there for now.
Yes.
And get back to Dragon Ball Z Kai. But it was nice reminiscing about days gone by, frustrations of the past.
Pettiness.
Yes.
Classmates.
Hospitalized people.
Never heard of him, didn't want to.
Well, I hope to see you again next time at the Main Protagonist podcast.
Yeah.
And hopefully with some more alcohol, because I'm thirsty in this weather. Fuck me.
Yeah, it's getting to be hot here.
End the recording so I can die in peace.
Okay, fine. Well, it was the Sci-Fi Character Podcast. I've been Pettry.
Casper.
And we'll see you next time.